Hello, beautiful people. So, welcome again to my channel. It's been a while. I know it's been a long while. I've had so much going on in my personal life. I haven't had a chance to upload anything, but yeah, forgive me. I'm back. Whoop, 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 whoop. So today I'm going to do something very simple and very quick, but it's very tasty, and I use it for most of my sauces, most of my soups, and it's tomato puree. And what I'm going to use are very simple ingredients. As you can see, I've got my tomatoes. There's basically 40 medium-sized tomatoes here. They normally come in a bag like this. I bought them from, hold on a second, I'll show you. I bought it from Lidl. You can buy it yours from Tesco, wherever, but this is a family pack and they're quite nice and juicy and plummy like that. If you get it and it's a bit greeny, just let it ripen so you can get that beautiful color that you want. I've also got some beetroot. These are juicy and fresh. They're 2 small size and I think 1 large one. I'd say if you get 3 medium ones, then it'll be the same. So yeah, it's nothing special, just normal beetroots. And I've got 1 lemon. I've got some malt vinegar as well. You can use the white vinegar, whichever works for you. And I've got my best friend here, my Russell Hub slow cooker. This does the work for me perfectly. I don't need to worry about losing my nutrients because it takes its time to cook. It retains all the nutrients in there whilst I cook overnight, and I don't have to monitor it or anything like that. So I'm going to use that. I've got myself a knife, my spoon. I've got a sieve. This is where I'm going to put all the seeds. When I de-seed, they're all going to go in here. And I have got a spoon and this bad boy over here that I've been trying to figure out the English name for, but yeah, I've settled on pistol. But the local name for this is tapoli. It's called a tapoli. In the Ghanaian dialect, the Akan dialect, it's called tapoli. You can get it from any African shop. If you don't have that, the faithful spoon will do the trick. But you'll see why I've chosen to use this. If you don't have this, alternatively you can use a potato masher or whatever you can, mash with. I'll show you why I'm going to use this. So yeah, let's get on and start prepping. So you got the pot that you're going to put in the slow cooker. You've got your sieve here, and the reason we've got the spoon and the sieve is because that's how we're going to scoop out the seeds. This recipe does not require any seeds, so all we do is very simple. Just cut it in 2, use your spoon, and then scoop out as you can see, scoop out the seeds as best as you can. If there's any hidden, just use your finger to just take it out. And that's about it. You just repeat the same process for all your tomatoes until you have all of it, all the seeds out. The great thing about this recipe is it's so easy. You can just do a few at a time. So this is how much tomato juice we've got so far. I'm just going to pour that into our cup and set that aside, okay? Now we're going to use this later on, so I'm just going to set this one aside. We're going to use that. This is fresh tomato juice. You could just bottle it up, put it in your fridge, but I'm going to do something with it and I want to show you what I'm going to do with it. So you can just use a spoon if you wanted to, just tease it this way and that way, but the spoon takes forever, so I'm just gonna use this instead. If you want a potato, you've got one of these, you can use it as well. Your potato mashing tool, you can use that. But I'm very happy with this one, so I'm just gonna carry on using this. If you don't have that and you have a mortar and pestle, you can use that as well. Or you can use one of these as well. You can use that as well. It's basically whatever you're comfortable with. It's just something that you can use to put pressure on the seeds to kind of get rid of whatever juices is left. That's all this exercise is about, just getting all the excess juice out. Okay, and we've got an extra that much. Now this juice is a lot thicker than the first juice. This juice is quite thin. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour some of it. I don't know if you can see this. Can you see this? Yeah, I'm going to pour some of it into our slow cooker, not all of it, and put the rest in here. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to scoop because my sink is clean, I can do this in there. I'm going to scoop what's left in here because I can use that later on. Plant these later on, but it's still got some juices in there. If I wanted to, I could strain it some more, but to be honest, I'm too tired. I'm not doing that today. So yeah, set those two aside. Right, so the last activity is to sort out our beetroot. Right, so what I'm going to do with the beetroot is it's going to go in the juice. So what I do is peel the skin off. And then that goes in the juice. There we go. Yeah, it's a lot easier. I don't know why I didn't use that before. The skin. Bearing in mind my sink is clean, so I can do this. The skin of the beets is going to go in here. Nothing gets wasted. and I'm going to make some tea with it. So I'm going to enjoy my tea later on. And I'm going to brew that later. So I'm just going to pop that on my slow cooker. I don't need to do anything else. Just switch it on, and as you, I don't know if you can you see? Yeah. So just set the timer. And what I'm going to do is set it on low, and I'm going to leave it on 6 hours and let it cook. And that's it. That's the hard work done. That's our fresh juice. I'm going to cover that. Just going to set some cling film on that and leave that in the fridge. And whenever we want fresh tomato juice, we can just use this. The reason I've kept the beetroot in there is because we're going to blend the tomatoes with the beetroots. But until then, we're going to leave it in the fridge because this takes a good 6 hours. So I'm going to go to bed and wake up in the morning and it's going to be ready for us to add the beets to it and blend. So I'm just literally popping that in the fridge. So yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. See what it looks like in the morning. Au revoir. Okay, so we're back the next morning and our tomatoes is ready. So all we're going to do now, as you can see, there's a lot of water. Can you see that much? All that from the tomatoes. So we're going to strain a bit of it and then blend. Okay. So you grab your blender. This is the fresh juice, and obviously this one is going to be the cooked juice. So I'm just going to pop this back in the fridge. Still quite hot so you can see the heat. But that's it. Tomato puree is ready. Now at this point you have two options. I just want to show you the consistency. It's still quite fluidy. So what I can do is either strain it a bit more, and you can use the strainer that you normally would use for jam. And I've got one of those, so I'm going to use that to get rid of the rest of the juices. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some Let me just show you how I'm going to do that. So this is what we need. That's the funnel, and that's the strainer for the funnel. So that goes in there and sits in there, and it gets rid of any excess water in there. Remember, this is tomato puree, so we don't want excess water or juice. So all of that gets taken out and put in here. So I'm just going to do that. We've got our funnel and we've got a strainer in the funnel, and I'm just going to pour that in. You can see, you can still see the juice. There's still quite a bit of juice in there. So that's just going to strain at the bottom there, and just set that aside and just repeat the process until you've done all of your tomatoes. What I've got is I've got some of the juice still in there, so I'm just going to strain that through the funnel, and you just get all those juices. Can you just see how much juice I'm getting here? It's just amazing, and this is the good stuff, you know. So with the 40 tomatoes that we used, we got one whole jar of tomato juice, and then we've got the little a cup full of fresh tomato juice. This is tomato and beetroot juice, and the other one is the fresh tomato juice. So I just want you to see, this is fresh tomato juice, beetroot and tomato juice together. So that's what we got, and that's quite a lot considering we didn't add any water to it. And that's why I like to use a slow cooker, because you don't lose any of this good stuff. If I used a normal pot to cook, it would have, all the juices would have evaporated, and when it evaporates, obviously you're not going to get any of those nutrients. So I'm going to bottle these up and put it in the fridge and use that at a later date. Our paste is all ready now, and we're just going to plate dish them into these containers and store them in the fridge. So at this point, that's all we're doing. juice here ready to be bottled, and I am just going to just fill up my jars. I don't want to make a mess, so I'm going to put the bottles in here so I can pour them one at a time. You see? For my tomatoes, that's what I got.